Good evening. My name is Victor Chong. So I'm Lawrence's brother. In case you were bringing the ranking, Lawrence is number 3. I'm number 9, so I'm at the other end. Tonight, we're going to share some words with you. Well, firstly, before we say that, thank you again for coming. I can see, and I do share my time with Lawrence in the last week during this difficult time. His faith was very strong. I think, and in no small part due to this community. And thank you everybody for helping him with his faith. I think even with all the medications that we gave him to keep him comfortable, I saw that he felt the most comfort after prayer when he had a miracle visit. So tonight we have some messages from some of my sisters. So some of them are going to talk themselves, and I'll cover the gap. So I'll introduce my sister Juliana, number 7. That's right, number 7. Yeah, so she's going to give you some thoughts.
Lawrence Chong was the third of 9 siblings and their eldest son, a role he carried with quiet strength and responsibility. He completed his final year of secondary school in Melbourne and went on to study at the University of Tasmania, later becoming a CPA in Melbourne. Despite a successful career in Melbourne, he chose to return to Malacca to work alongside Dad. One thing that truly showed his caring nature was how in Mount's later years, he would call her in Melbourne every single day via video calls so they could see each other even from afar. This continued until Mum's passing 2 years ago at the age of 98. Lawrence had a gentle way of staying connected with the family and often took the lead in family matters with fairness. He was also generous in treating the siblings to delicious Malacca cuisine whenever we visited. Even in his final days, while very sick in the hospital, Lawrence's faith never wavered. Despite his own suffering, he reached out with love and compassion to his non-Christian relatives, earnestly sharing his beliefs and hoping to bring them closer to the faith he cherished so deeply. This unwavering commitment in the face of pain show us all the depth of his conviction and the kindness of his heart. Lawrence's legacy is not only in the life he lived, but in the love and faith he tried to pass on to those around him, right up until the very end.
I will share with you my sister Elizabeth, which is number 5. Unfortunately, she's not able to be here tonight. She has a severe flu, and she's trying to get better and to be here in a couple of days. So if I should, let me share her words from Elizabeth. She said, "I still remember Lawrence once saying he would tear down the old Gatherbury house where we live, our home, and build a 9-story apartment so each of us could have a floor of our own. On rainy mornings, he'd drive Pauline, this is would you say some words? Would you drive my sister? Would you drive Pauline and me to school in the Mercedes, making sure we stayed dry and warm? Then he'd get back home, change, and ride his bicycle all the way to his own school in Bandar Village. They always put us first. Now I would like to invite my sister Pauline to share some words.
Well, I'm Pauline. I'm the sixth in the pecking order. Now, I grew up with my brother, Lawrence, and I have a lot of fond memories. Now, what can I tell you about my brother? Well, first thing that comes to mind is I learned about pop music from him, something that some of you may not know. So now, whenever I hear songs from back in the 60s, and the bands like the Tremolos, the Hollies, Herman's Hermits, the Archies, and the Turtles. I'm not sure any one of you know. I immediately think of him very, very fondly. Growing up with Lawrence was quite fun and memorable. Being the tomboy of the family, he taught me how to march properly, how to salute the flag properly, how to build a fire with twigs, and also tie a riff knot. I'm not sure how many of you what a riff knot is. I'm quite happy to demonstrate if you really want me to. All these skills he learned when he was a scout at school, and that's what he taught me, and I still know how to do all that. I think my sister Juliana touched on it. Lawrence went to Kingswood College in Melbourne. And then he went to the University of Tasmania. Then he went back to Melbourne and did his CA. Now, during that time, I went to New Zealand to pursue my studies. And the first summer in 1974, Lawrence sent me a ticket and said, "You are coming to spend Christmas with me." Yes, why not, you know? And when our parents came over at the same time, he took my parents, me, all of us. We went in his little old red Datsun 1600, and we traveled from Melbourne to Canberra to Sydney. Yes, think about that, and right up to Hamilton Island. It was a fun ride. That summer, I learned a lot about my big brother. He had a heart of gold. He used to go to St. Francis Church in Melbourne on Friday nights and help out with the poor and needy. He took me along, so that's how I know. He has a sense of adventure. Every Saturday morning, he would go to Meridian Airport, those of you that know Melbourne, to learn how to fly a glider. I don't know how many of you knew that. He actually wanted to fly a plane one day. He told me that. He was generous to a fault. He never skipped on anyone but himself. The whole summer I spent with him in 1974, he gave me $50 a week for pocket money. Now, just to put it in context, Big Mac was 50 cents then. So there was a lot of money. Okay? He loved fixing things. I'm sure someone will notice that. I think the DIY stores were created with him in mind. When he moved back to Malaysia, we inherited his Black and Decker drill set, which we still have. Well, we will miss you dearly, and you will always forever in our hearts, especially when they play the music from the 60s.
Next, I would like to share some words from my sister Katherine. She's number one. She's at the back, but she's asked me to help share the words. I'll never forget the time our Chong family took that unforgettable trip to the Philippines and Hong Kong. One day, the tour guide brought us to watch a local game where people placed bets on the players. I think it's called High Alive, I think. Lawrence joined in just for fun. Mom asked, if you won a big prize, what would you do with the money? Without missing a beat, he smiled and said, I built 9 houses in a row, one for each of my siblings. That was Lawrence. He didn't just say he loved us. He dreamed of building a life around us. He had a quiet, unwavering kind of love, the kind that didn't need to be loud to be deeply felt. Later, when we visited him in the hospital, he told us how thankful he was to God for giving him more time to see time to see all his siblings again. Time to hold our hands, share a smile, say a few more words. He even got to speak to Dorothy, which is number 2. I'll share words in a minute. Twice on the phone, since she couldn't be there after her spine surgery. He didn't complain, he was just grateful. That was Lawrence too. Lawrence, your heart was big enough to hold all of us, and now, as we say goodbye, we carry a part of you with us. We miss you more than words can say. We love you always. The next one is from my sister Dorothy, number 2. She just had a spine surgery, so she's in recovery herself. So she's not here, so she's asked me to share these. Lawrence was one of the kindest persons, and was a joker he was. What a joker he was. He could make us laugh. There's so much I want to say about my dear brother, but right now my heart is heavy and my mind feels tangled in grief. I'm so sorry I didn't get the chance to see you earlier. Lawrence, I wish I had just one more moment. You're deeply missed, always. And finally, from me, I had to write my words as well, so I can read it to you. So Lawrence and I, 15 years apart in age, and we didn't spend a lot of time together growing up, aside from those early days when I first moved to Australia. Even then, he was very much the big brother, introducing me to all the new and exciting things Melbourne had to offer. A gentle way of staying connected perfectly describes Lawrence. He was always present for the family, quietly stepping up to lead whenever it was needed, as he did when our dad passed away suddenly in 1995. Never seeking recognition, just doing what had to be done with calm and grace. We usually caught up once or twice a year, especially during Chinese New Year. It became a tradition for him to take me out for Indian or Mama food, because all the Chinese restaurants were closed during Chinese New Year. So those moments, those simple moments meant a lot. Lawrence led our family with quiet strength and unwavering support. We take comfort in knowing he's now in a better place with God, but that doesn't make the loss any easier. He would be deeply missed, and finally, God, please say hi to Mom and Dad for us. Thank you.